all seems to be going tickety-boo at this point, but without warning to their IRA contacts, the Nazis suddenly switch tactics and they undertake a massive bombing raid of Belfast on Easter Tuesday, April 1941, which completely blows the socks off the IRA. They had no idea this was coming. 180 Luftwaffe bombers attacked the Harland and Wolff shipping yard, which was a vital base for the Royal Navy. However, as we saw with Mr. Gortz's unfortunate landing, it was wildly inaccurate. Over 1,000 civilians were killed, and half the city was destroyed. This was a real dark night of the soul for Taoiseach Eamon de Valera, not least because he may have felt guilty that on the southern side of the border, the railway, which went from Dublin across the border, went up to Belfast, was not blacked out. So the idea is that this would have acted as a quite clear kind of guide for the bombers. So he possibly feels a little bit guilty about that. He sends an extra 13 fire tenders across the border to help quell the blaze. So for perhaps the only moment in the war, Ireland is united against the Nazis in this dreadful, dreadful moment. It's truly abysmal, unimaginable, the pain that the Irish people at this point were feeling. And not long after that, to add insult to injury, on the 31st of May, Dubliners, it was their turn to awake to similar damage in their city with, although less dramatic, 34 were dead, 91 were wounded, and many more left without homes. Again, we seem to have some incompetence on the German bombers' part. It's possible that they got lost and simply dumped their bombs as they were flying off over the water. They thought, why waste good ammunition? We'll just drop it here.
Well, I also think we also glaze over sometimes the fact that they didn't have like Google Maps up to see where they were going.
Quite, yeah.
They literally just had a map, and then they were looking for certain landmarks on their way and stuff. And how are you supposed to do that in the dark?
Yeah, exactly. With all the extra stuff that's going on with simply trying to fly a plane.
Yeah, I mean, there's stories on the Allied side as well. I mean, my grandfather was a radar operator in the RAF during the war, and he sort of told various stories of Allied bombers sort of taking off from the UK with the intent of going to Germany and dropping their bombs there, and then sort of flew for about half an hour, thought, we've probably gone far enough now, drop the bombs, and it turns out they ended up dropping them over England instead.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, well, you can't win as a farmer on the south coast of the UK. You're kind of screwed either way.
Yeah, it's not gonna go well for you either way.
No.
So in the wake of all this disaster, chaos engulfs the IRA leadership. They're confused. What's going on? Why have the Nazis done this? What's happening? So there's a bit of a kind of purge within the IRA. Hayes, who is now a sort of full-blown alcoholic and completely incapable of effective management, he's scapegoated for the failures. He's court-martialed and he's forced to confess to being an Irish government spy, despite there being no evidence to back this up. He escapes to the Irish police for safety and is inevitably given 5 years in prison, but he doesn't really mind because at least he's alive. Gortz at this point is still kicking about, a bit like the Japanese soldiers who never were told that the war was over. He's sort of kicking about, completely unaware of developments, and finally gets picked up in September 1941 and arrested. So it all kind of goes up in flames, and any further hopes of collaboration are dashed when the Americans get involved in the war effort. With 32,000 American GIs stationed in Northern Ireland, this was well and truly the end of any hoped for Nazi invasion.